Good afternoon, all. This is your girl Love Wisdom live from the beautiful village of South Orange, New Jersey. Remember, you have the winning hand. Play it accordingly. If you're thinking of a master plan, never tell people your blueprint. Always show them your results. Thank you to everyone who's called, sent a text, kept my family and myself in your prayers as we are navigating this very difficult time. I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. This has been a very tough 3 weeks. For those of you who don't know, my mom passed away March 15th at the age of 74, and this Saturday would have been her 75th birthday. So this has been rough. No one teaches you how to grieve. There is no guidebook on this. Some days I'm great, soaking up the memories, and some days I am crying periodically, holding on to my mom's pillow. Her services was last Sunday on the 29th. She was sent off beautifully. Much love and respect to St. Matthew AME Church, the church that her and I are members of, the usher board, the hospitality committee, the senior choir that she sang on, Manna from Heaven, who gives out the food to the community, to our pastor for eulogizing her so beautifully. She would definitely have been proud of how the church sent her off. But it's been a hell of a 3 weeks. I'm currently out on health leave because mentally, emotionally, in some cases physically, I am not up to report back to work. I don't understand how corporations want people to grieve for a week and come back as if nothing happened. So I'm out on medical leave. I start grief counseling next Monday for 8 weeks, every other Monday. Just because I just want some tools on how to navigate this thing called grief. I don't like to use the word grief. However, it's what I'm going through right now. My mother and I, you've seen one, you've seen the other. And I was her caretaker the last 2 months of her life when she fell ill. And I still struggle with the woulda, shoulda, couldas. Nothing on that day was out of the ordinary at all. She was a little more tired than usual. That is what dialysis would do. Nothing out of the ordinary that day. We talked, we laughed. She spoke to people. Everything was okay until the evening where things went south. And I rattled with that on the woulda, shoulda, couldas. When she first said her back was hurting, I rubbed her back. Why didn't I say, let's go to the emergency room? Nothing was out of the ordinary until the very last second, when I was just like, Ma, I think I need to take you to the emergency room. And she said, okay. And she collapsed and she never woke back up. And I rattled with that so much. People would say, when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And I understand that. I get that. But as a daughter, as a caretaker, I rattle with the woulda, shoulda, couldas. My mother was on the mend. She was doing better. And for this to happen just like that, it's just like, what the fuck? And going through that process of planning her funeral, writing the obituary, on the phone with people for 3 weeks straight, sun up to sundown, reliving the night, speaking of the memories, crying like a baby, trying to console my eldest aunt and uncle, you know, hard, and having to pick up her usher's uniform, get her usher shoes, get her badges for her to be in, making sure that the makeup, the lipstick, the hair, her pearls was on point, her gloves. It was just so much to work through, to handle, having to be strong with all of that planning, having a little bit of break, you know, to cry and to grieve, but having to be strong that whole entire time. Was something. I look at it as a blessing too, because my mom always said, stand. You can grieve, you can cry, but always stand. And I had to stand. I really had to stand. Because there was so much that had to be done during that time. Legal stuff that had to, you know, get done, making sure everything was correct. That was something. That was and people don't give a lot of credit to daughters. I don't think so. I'm not trying to be sexist. I don't think there's enough credit to daughters and how we have to stay strong to not fall apart. You know, everyone else can fall apart and crumble, but you know, I don't have Meg Thee Stallion knees, especially not right now, mentally or emotionally. I'm wobbling and I'm shaking, you know, but you gotta be, you know, you gotta be strong, you gotta be sturdy while everyone around you falls apart. You know, you have to make sure your foundation isn't shoddy, and I had to do that for the past 3 weeks. And that's why now that things have quieted down a little bit, the grief is starting to hit me for real now. Beautiful service. She was cremated. I got her urn. She's back home. But it's like, my mom's gone. You know, she's not here. And when there's routine, you know, when there's routine, you know what we would have been doing right now. Like, I would have been, you know, working from home, because Monday is my work from home day. I'd have been working from home in the living room. She'd have been in the living room, laying down. We're watching Bold and the Beautiful, low-key taking notes on who's going to do who and next. Those things I'm definitely going to miss. That was like our bonding time. Then we would watch Beyond the Gates while I'm working. And then it'll be General Hospital while I'm working. Then at 4 o'clock is, well, Ma, keep the news on for 15 minutes because I need to know what's going on. Then, you know, she'll turn to her court shows and then the game shows. So there was routine. I would be on the phone making sure that the access link will come tomorrow for her dialysis appointment. There was routine, and you know, that routine is gone. You know, it hurts that my buddy's not here. I know she's here in spirit. I know she's definitely here in spirit. My mother has shown up to me a couple of times after her transition. Last week she came twice in a row as a cardinal. When I went to the cherry blossoms, she showed up as a bunch of bees. So I know it was her in company, that her and my other deceased relatives. So she has shown up. She has spoken to me. Now, if you believe in those things, you believe in those things. If you don't, you don't. You know, this is my experience. But she has shown up to me. I'm comforted by that. I'm also a human being, and I know that my buddy is not here, which now makes the grief hit harder in the chest. But it will get better in time. It'll definitely get better in time. As I said in my last video, I don't cry for regret, because, you know, I honored my mom. You know, I love my mom wholeheartedly. It's just the physical part, and she passed so suddenly after doing so well. It's like the why. I read the death certificate. She had a heart attack. But my mom did not tell me that she was fighting heart disease for 5 years. I know she had diabetes. She kept her diabetes under control. But she also had ESRD, which is end-stage renal disease. She was on dialysis, you know. She was on the mend. She was doing great. But I did not know she was fighting heart disease. And that's just like my mom will not tell you what's going on fully with her, because she never wanted to come off as a burden to anyone. Sort of like my grandmother. Like, we did not know she had pancreatic cancer stage 4 until she was at the hospital. And when the doctor said she had stage 4 pancreatic cancer, it's like, so when were you going to tell us that you was going through this? And she didn't want to be a burden to anybody. And, you know, preparing to go down there to see her, it was told that when the doctor said hospice, my grandmother passed 45 minutes later. And my mom said, because she heard that word hospice. And my grandmother's like my mom, strong and independent. I'll do it on my own. I'll battle this on my own. And that was my mom through and through. Whatever silent battle she fought, she fought. It still put on a brave and strong face for everyone, because she didn't want to be a burden to anybody. And that's how she raised me. Get it on your own. Get it by yourself, because the last thing you want is for people to say, I had to do this for. She said, everything you do, you get it honest. And that's a testament to who I am. Like, I have her stubbornness. I have her independence. Like, I have her strength. And, you know, I will break down in private. Like, I would never let folks see me sweat, because she taught me that, don't let folks see you sweat. If you really see me sweat and collapse in front of you, that means I trust you. That means you are special to me if I let my vulnerability out, because I usually don't. But this has been a hell of a 3 weeks, man. Hell of a 3 weeks. It's been a time. But I'm just learning how to just let the tears fall when they need to. When it comes, it comes. I let it come and let it go back to the good memories. You know, we're talking about how her and I were at BJ's, and we saw this 65-inch TV, and it was on sale, Samsung, and it was The TV was for like $10.50, but it was on sale for like $4.99. And I remember my mom and I looked at each other, was like, let's get this TV. And we told the guy, hold that TV, we'll be right back. And I think I must have did like 90 in a 55 to get to, it was Investors at that time, to get to the bank. To get to the bank to get the money out. Because my mom did not have that ATM with that Visa logo on it, so you couldn't just like pay for it at Beaters. You had to go to the bank, because she was old school like that. We ran, we got the money, he held the TV for us, and with tax, I think it came to like, I don't know, like $5.45. We were so happy to get that TV. So happy to get that TV. And one of the many memories we have of each other, going out for breakfast. When I would get my truck service, I would always treat her for breakfast. Come on, let's go to IHOP up the street. So much so that the dealer that sold me my truck, he was like, so we're taking mom out to breakfast. I said, oh, absolutely. And take her out to breakfast. We take her out to Top's Diner for her birthday. That was her favorite place to go. You know, going to Ashley Stewart and shopping for certain stuff, and we would just talk to the people, and people really thought we were sisters until it's like, no, that's my mom. That's not your mom, that's your sister. Because the way you guys, like, the way we would like be around each other and hang out, it didn't look like mother and daughter. It looked like more like sisters, because like our relationship like transcended from mother and daughter to like sisters. And that was just a testament of how tight we are. And I speak of her in the present tense, how tight we are. You know, and my mom, she wasn't confrontational, but my mom just didn't let stuff slip. And sometimes I'd be like, see, this is why I like to take you nowhere, because you always starting conflict. And she just be like, no. You got to nip it in the bud, because if you don't nip it in the bud, folks going to walk all over you. And that was the issue she had with my father, who it would be 5 years, July 1st, that he passed away. That was the issue she had with my father. And I kind of take up after him with that we'll give you the shirt off our back and the skin off our bones. We'll do that. And my mother would grit her teeth like, y'all too? Do not let people walk over you. Don't do that. And she would always say, I trust you. I don't trust this world. That's why I raised you to be strong. And like, don't let people walk all over you, because that's what they will do. And I had to learn those lessons the hard way from time to time. But it just showed how very important her wisdom was, and her, our conversations was when it came to life. And I told her, I was like, Mom, you know, I listen to you all the time. Like, I listen to your advice, you know, and I apply it, you know. And she knew and she understood, but she was always saying, I want you to be strong, because this world is cruel. I don't trust this world. I trust you. I don't trust this world. That's why I want you to be strong. She kept true to her faith, very true to her faith. And it made me stay true to the faith as well. We ushered together. Members of the church for, I'm a member for about 20 years. She's a member for over 25. So we was in adult Sunday school together. Like that's just how tight we are. I spoke to a spiritual advisor. Y'all forgive me if I'm kind of like rambling going on, but this is how I kind of keep from breaking down. This is my way of like expressing it out. I spoke to a spiritual advisor, and when we were talking about death, we were talking about the soul contract, that when you are preparing to come into this world, you are on a contract that you agreed upon. And from the time you were born, how you will live your life up until the time of death. Y'all act like y'all don't have no licenses. No, you stay right there, because you could have been turned your ass over here. I hate when y'all do that shit. Y'all want to do shit at the last minute and then look at people like you fucking crazy. Know how to drive. Good Lord. Get it together. And the motherfucker still ain't moved over yet, with his signal light on, still trying to get through with other people. Okay, moving on. That's how I know a little piece of me coming back, because my road rage starting to come back a little bit. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. The old me coming back a little bit. Okay? Bear with me. So, the contract, from the time you were born, who your parents are, how many kids you'll have, what they'll deal with, all the way until it's time for you to go. And I remember she was telling me your mother ran her race and she passed the baton to you. It's like the circle of life. The baton is passed, so the next person can run the race. And don't feel guilty or ashamed. There's nothing to feel guilty about. When the race is over and when it's your time, the baton is passed to the next person and they run it. And she said, now it's your turn to run that race that she ran. And she is with you as your guardian angel. She is with you as your cheerleader. Rooting you on, protecting you, giving you bits of wisdom, just in a higher place now. So those are things that I'm comforted by, you know, as I'm trying to navigate this new reality. Because it's always been we, as, you know, my mom and I. Now it's me. So getting used to being, you know, a caretaker in the last 2 months of her life to, in the words of Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald, on my own. You know, I move next month to a new place. New place I'm moving to. She made sure I was taken care of, which is a blessing. So, you know, I'm good on that front. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, like what's been going on with me. It's been a wild 3 weeks. So I'm going to head back home because I think I did a lot of outsiding for the day. We'll go home and relax for a bit. It's a beautiful day, but it's just gotten cold. It's supposed to be April. We're supposed to be in the spring. The cherry blossoms are absolutely gorgeous, but this weather, winter just act like it's still want full-time custody, and the rest of us are just like, we want some heat. So hopefully, they said by midweek we'll be in the 60s and 70s, which, you know, I embrace. But that's all I wanted to share with you guys for the time being. I'll be back more likely when I move to the new place, kind of give y'all like a 360 of what the new place looks like. I'm excited. I'm excited about that new beginning, and my mom in heaven will be here to witness it all. It's also a reward for honoring her and taking care of her while she was here, because She is sure taking care of me from upstairs. No, I'm not going to tell y'all all the other good juicy details that her and the good Lord was behind. I'm shocked myself. So all I can tell you is honor your mother and father, for your days will be long. You will certainly be rewarded for caring for your parents. Love your parents, check in on them, forgive them, because they only did what they knew how to do at the time. Some of you have children, and you got to forgive your parents for you, so you don't pass that down to your children, because how you were raised is how you will raise your children, and you know the drill. So to break some of those generational curses from your parents, you got to forgive them. And yes, in some cases, you got to love them from a distance. That's normal as well. But you don't want the next generation to be out of whack and out of sync because you're still like holding grudges against your parents. It's not worth it at this point. I'm not holding any regret towards my mom because I did what I was supposed to do as her daughter. And you know, the word says, let others speak of your praises, and people spoke of it. So people saw what I did. And there's my reward for it. And I will continue to honor my mother and how I live and how I treat people. Saturday, I've decided to keep the tradition going. I'm still going to Top's Diner on her birthday. I even got her a card. We're going to wear purple because purple is her favorite color. So, going to be in purple. We're going to have lunch. I'm going to get her favorite slice, strawberry shortcake. And we're going to celebrate my mom. We're not going to stop the tradition. We're going to keep it going. She's there. She's there in spirit. I even got two pendants, two sterling silver pendants with a purple gemstone with her ashes in it, so I can wear that pendant. You know, when I go out, I have a pendant hanging over the visor, you know, on the visor. So, you know, she's with me. She's watching over me, and I'm just, you know, adjusting to the physical of her not being here. So, grieve if you must. Those of you who are grieving, grieve if you must. Cry if you must, but stand. Whatever you do, stand. Shaky, wobbly, stand. All right, guys, y'all stay safe, y'all stay blessed, and I'll talk to you later.